Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Amber Living Vlog. This is Beyond Film School, and I am Amber, and today we are talking about the key second assistant director. Before we jump into the video about a second assistant director, I just want to tell you a couple things that I got going on. The Zoom meeting happened, well, today because I did it on the same day I'm shooting this, but it went really well. Thanks for everyone that joined me, and I hope to do another one. I probably am going to do one a month. And another thing, I have a way for you guys to thank me, or a way for me to gain income because I am out of work, obviously, because production is shut down. But there is a PayPal link and it says buy me a coffee. If you want to thank me, you can just buy me a coffee to, you know, give your gratitude because I'm making these videos for you and I'm bringing you content. Hopefully it helps you. But the link is below for you to hopefully donate to the cause of Beyond Film School. This is the second video of a series about assistant directors, and if you missed the first video, that one was about the first AD, the first assistant director, and I'm gonna leave the link there for you guys to check out. So if you missed that video, please click on it and watch it because this one builds on that one. What is a key second assistant director? And the reason why I say key is because there are so many different second assistant directors. There's a second, additional second. So there's a lot. So the key second is going to be the right hand to the first AD, the first assistant director. When you look at the position of the key second AD, that's a person who is working behind the scenes. You're not going to see them on set. They're like the person behind the curtain pulling the strings. They are the liaison between the first AD and production, meaning production coordinator or the UPM or the production manager. So they're the liaison between the production office and the first AD. So along with being the liaison between the first AD and production, they're also the liaison between production and everyone and the cast. So they're going to be the main contact person for the cast. They are the supervisor of all production assistants and all the other additional second ADs. They're also supervising how the cast gets ready. So if they're going through hair, makeup, and wardrobe and when they're going to get to set, they're supervising all of that happening. They're also going to be the supervisor of background. So if background extras are getting ready, they need to know if they're there, if they reported, how many were missing. They're in charge of supervising the production staff, the background, and the cast. They're supervising a lot. They're doing a lot. They're supervising and they have hands in a lot of different areas. Jumping into the responsibilities of the key second AD, I'm just going to get this out of the way right now because the first thing you see as far as responsibilities go for a key second AD is the call sheet, creating the call sheet. While that is a major responsibility because the call sheet is distributed to all the crew, all the cast, it's the main point of information for everyone that's working on set. That is a huge responsibility, but that's not the only responsibility of a second AD. Along with creating the call sheet, they are making sure that once they are done with it, it gets approved by the first AD and it gets approved by the UPM. Depending on the size of production, they themselves might distribute it or they might hand it off to someone else to distribute it. So it depends on the size, but they make sure that it gets to everyone that needs it. And it gets out to all cast and crew. As far as prep goes, when it comes to the key second AD, they are with the first AD at all times. They are helping with the breakdowns, helping with the schedule. They're on location scouts, tech scouts. So they are with the first AD and they are prepping together. Like I said, they are the right hand of the first AD and they're working together to, you know, make sure all the details. I mean, one brain can't wrap their head around a large production. You know, that's why the first and second, they need to be a really good cohesive team. They are going to be doing a lot of the breakdowns. They have, you know, the cast day out of days. They're going to have the BG breakdown. There's going to be a production assistant manpower breakdown. There's a lot of paperwork that goes into being a second AD. And when you're on an indie set, for example, a lot of the paperwork you're to be handling yourself. So you have the G, you have SAG contracts, you have, you know, vouchers from background. There's a lot of paperwork that you have to submit yourself if you're on an indie set. On a union set, you know, production assistants take care of some of that paperwork, but the AD checks to make sure that all that paperwork is good and they can submit it. So in the beginning of the video, I talked about how they are working behind the scenes. They are prepping for the next day. They are communicating with all the departments to make sure that everyone has what they need to be ready for the next day. While being the liaison for the cast, they're also doing that as well. So they are making sure that whoever is on the next day, cast-wise, is aware. They are aware where they're going, what time they're needed. They're also coordinating with transportation. They could be talking to the transpo captain or they could be talking to certain producers. So they're coordinating all the transportation as far as trucks, vans, and equipment is concerned. They're also coordinating table reads. They're coordinating wardrobe fittings. They're in charge of coordinating a lot of different things that you don't see on set. Another responsibility of the second AD is to fill in for the first AD when needed. They have to have the ability to run a set as well. Like how I mentioned before that the second AD is kind of the key for that department. They are in charge of hiring the PA staff. They are in charge of delegating tasks to the PA staff as well. So if you're trying to be hired as a staff PA, the second AD you need to make friends with. As far as getting cast ready, and this one is kind of weird because it depends on the size of the production as well. So if you're on an indie production, as a second AD, you're going to be responsible to make sure that cast is getting ready. They're in makeup, they're in hair, and then they go to wardrobe. So you're in charge of getting them ready. But the thing is on a union set, they're more supervising. So there's usually a first team runner, PA, that is going to be making sure that the cast is going to be hopping to one trailer to the other to get ready. So you are going to be in charge of supervising or making sure that the cast is ready and that they are on set ready to go when they are needed. And that is going to be when the first AD says they're needed. They're supervising cast, but they're also supervising the background. They are the ones that are going to be contacting the casting company that, you know, maybe it's Central Casting, maybe it's Empire Casting, but they let them know what is needed. They are going to have a BG breakdown, background breakdown, and they have it for either the whole show or for a whole episode, and they submit that form to the casting company and they let them know what days, how many, and what types of background that they're needed. So they are the liaison between production and the casting company for background. So a lot of things happen in the background world if you've ever been a background PA, you know all the strange things that just the situations that arise are crazy. Any issues that happen with background and they can't be handled by the second, it goes up to the second AD, and they're the final say-so when it comes to certain issues. So when it comes to background, they have to make sure that the background is ready, that they are all propped up, they're in their wardrobe, and they're on set on time. And that also goes for the stand-ins as well. They are responsible for making sure that the stand-ins are on set when they're needed, when the crew is lighting. Many of these tasks might be delegated to the background runner, background PA. On a smaller production, you're not going to have a ton of PAs to help you, so you may be doing all that yourself. So first AD is running the set and you're handling background and cast, which is a lot of responsibility. There's a lot going on. It's a lot to handle. In my last video about the first AD, one of their responsibilities is being the mediator on set. Now, I believe that while the first AD is the mediator on set, the second AD is going to be the mediator behind the scenes. They are not on set. They are dealing with other things outside of what is actually being shot at that moment. A big responsibility, and I hate saying this because I know there might be an actor out there that watches my videos, but the second AD really has to make sure that cast is happy. I hate saying that the second AD is a babysitter, but I feel like the assistant director department largely are the babysitters on set. And it is kind of true. They have to make sure everyone stays happy, that there's no conflict, that we can move on with their day. And that includes cast, because I don't want to say it, but sometimes cast, they're kind of high maintenance and they're really demanding. So you have to make sure that their needs are met. And if you don't have a happy cast, they might not do well. It's a slippery slope. It's not a good thing when casts are unhappy. So as far as skills, qualities, and characteristics that are required from a key second AD, they're going to be the same as a first AD. Earlier in the video, I mentioned union versus indie as far as the key second AD is concerned. Now, the responsibilities and tasks are going to be there for both an indie and a union set, meaning there are going to be things that have to be done on both those things. So there's still going to be cast, there's still going to be background, there's still going to be prepping for the next day, there's still going to be a call sheet, there's going to be the same tasks. But the difference is that when you have a union set, there's more people to help. As far as cast is concerned, it's the same thing. So if on an indie set, you are going to sign them in, sign them out, get them ready, get them through hair, makeup, and wardrobe, and get them to set. On a union set, you have a first team runner PA, you have a first team helper PA that helps do all that stuff. You're supervising to make sure that they meet the time estimate. So you're like, they need to be out of hair and makeup by 7 a.m., they need to be on set by 7:30. That's not a realistic estimate because there's wardrobe and the hair in there, but that's just an example of like, they have times that those PAs have to meet. And if they aren't meeting them, then they need to be like, hey, what's the issue here? Why did it take so much longer? With union sets, there's more hands to help you with the tasks. In indie sets, you're gonna be doing a lot of the tasks yourself, which means your brain is gonna explode because no one's helping you and you're the only one handling all these things. Key second AD is not easy. So being a key second AD is, I wanna say, probably the most thankless job, because while the first AD, that also is largely a thankless position, they are the voice of the set and people see them. So they have a chance to be like, oh, this is a great AD. But the second AD is working behind the scenes so much that, and no one sees them, that the only time you really recognize the second AD is when they're doing a horrible job or something goes really, really wrong, and you know that that was a responsibility. So when you have a smooth set, you hear nothing of a second AD. They're doing their job really, really well because they're taking care of the problems before it even becomes an issue, before anyone knows about it. So it is really a tough job, and just if you are on set, thank your second AD, because if you had a nice smooth day, everyone got there on time, cast was ready, you finished the day efficiently, there were no issues, you know, thank your second AD for doing a really great job. Some people assume that the key second AD is aspiring to be a first AD, which in some cases is totally true. So it's not always the case that the key second AD wants to be a first AD. Some second ADs love being seconds. They love prepping for the next day. They love working out everything that needs to happen the next day. They don't like running a set. So it depends, and there's nothing bad about that. They just have found their groove and then what they like to do. The responsibilities of a first AD and the stress of a first AD is going to be a little bit different when it comes to the second AD. Like, their stresses and their responsibilities are going to differ. On indie sets, the first AD could be the only AD on set, which that means that that AD is taking care of everything that a second AD would take care of. And that's a lot. It's a lot of responsibility. So when you have a first and second on an indie set, it's like, it just is so great, because I have done so many projects where I've been the only AD and I've had to make the schedule, I had to run the set, and then I have to go home and then work on a call sheet. And it's just like, it makes for really, really long days. Now, key seconds are there before the first AD and they leave after the first AD. First AD is normally there at crew call and they leave at camera wrap. They're just out. They're just like, they're gone. But second ADs have to stick around for a while, and they're there usually when the first actor gets there. So if an actor has to be there 3 hours before crew call, that means that AD is there as well. The key second AD is having a much longer day than first AD, and I feel like when you climb the ladder, you have like a little bit more privilege, and you're like, yes, I don't have to come in early for actors to get ready, and I don't have to stay after camera wrap, I can just go home. When I've worked on some sets where I had a second AD, it was amazing. When I had a really great second AD, I was like, oh my god, my days were just a lot less stressful, and I was so thankful for my second AD when I have them. To wrap up this video, just know that the second AD, the key second AD is, it's a really, really important job. They take care of a lot, so thank them. Thank them. Thank your second ADs out there. That is it for this video. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, please, comment below. You can always email me, check out my website, follow me on Facebook, check out my Instagram, all that jazz. And remember, if you are new to my channel, please remember to subscribe to get, notifications when I post a new video. And that is it for this week, and I shall see you guys next time.